So today, it's the 3rd of February, if you guys can believe that. February is here, winter's here. And we are going to have a refresher of Contactually. So many weeks ago, almost 2 months ago, we introduced Contactually at Realty Concepts. And from those weeks, we've introduced new features and new processes you guys can use, but I know that can be overwhelming, or maybe you were quite busy and weren't able to attend all the trainings, or simply just want to review the basic features. And that's what this webinar here is today. So we're going to just walk through the basic stuff in your Contactually account so you feel comfortable with it. I really want to make sure that everyone starts off the new year with a fresh, clean database that they're happy with, number one. Number two, they want to use. You know, they're not overwhelmed by it. So we're here to help. Specifically, the two people you see on the screen, and there's another person named James Isaac who's going to be your go-to individuals for Contactually questions. So if you've been on webinars before, you've heard my voice, seen my picture, but always feel free to reach out to me directly. That's my contact information at the bottom, and I will make sure that whatever's going on, we help you think through or solve a problem or an issue that you're having. And you know, let it be known, I'm here to make you successful. If you use Contactually to its potential, you will grow your business. And that's an absolute fact. In fact, we saw internally, we did like a big data kind of analysis, and we saw that agents who used Contactually regularly had a 30% increase in referrals, which is pretty awesome. So anyways, myself, I'm Susan Watkins, and Jillian, also on the team. We're here to help you guys be successful on the Contactually side, so let us know if anything pops up. Quick kind of intro to the webinar. I'm going to talk for about 45 minutes. I'll leave extra time at the end in case you guys have questions. I want to make sure that I get those answered if need be. And if questions do pop up during the webinar, feel free to type them into the question box. As soon as they pop up, I will read them and answer them, because if you're asking it, that means 10 other people are thinking it. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions that you have about the software or what we're going over. And lastly, this presentation will be available for review afterwards, so don't worry too much about making note of every single detail. That it'll all be sent out to you later, so you don't have to worry about it. So here is the agenda for today. So I'm going to walk you through how to upload a spreadsheet very quickly, and then we'll talk about organizing your contacts. So once you have contacts in the system, how do you get them organized? Then I'll walk you through how to send an email from Contactually. We'll then focus on taking that sending an email a step further, and we'll walk through email templates, how to download them, and then how to send them. So Realty Concepts has been kind enough to create templates for you guys. You don't really have to even think. You just download the template and hit send, and I'll walk you through how to do that. And then, as always, I will leave time at the end to walk through support, resources, anything else that you need, and of course questions. So let's talk about Contactually. So what is Contactually? Contactually is a lightweight CRM that aggregates all of your contact information into a database. Contactually will remind you to stay in touch with your most important contacts. And Contactually turns relationships into results. So this system, if you use it, will only help you, which is, right, it'll only make your business more successful. And so that's what we're here to do, is to make sure you feel comfortable with it and you understand it. And so how does Contactually, how does it help? What does it do? So the first thing that Contactually does right off the bat is it allows you to have one area you can store all of your contact information. And so if you utilize a variety of different sources for contact information, all of that can come into Contactually. We'll clean it up. We will remove duplicates. We will merge pieces of information together. So phone number, email address, physical address, name, even picture, that's all going to be on one record, so you don't have stuff floating around. We'll give you a Rolodex that you can use, that you can count on, that you can know all the data is in one spot. That's the first, and honestly, one of the most important things in any database is having clean data, and Contactually helps you accomplish that. The next thing that we'll do is we'll help you organize. So Contactually has these things called buckets. So buckets are like a grouping or a category. And what you do is you tell Contactually, okay, these are my different groups of contacts. Generally, it's going to be sphere of influence, referral sources, past clients, vendors, friends and family, maybe even other realtors and out of the state. And so what you'll do is you'll figure out who your contacts are. They're already in your system, and then you'll put them into these categories. And how these categories are different than any other software out there is there is a follow-up time frame on these buckets, as we call them buckets. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means as you put people that are in your sphere of influence into this bucket, Contactually will monitor your communication because we're connected to all these data sources. We'll figure out when was the last time that you communicated with them. And if it recognizes that 30 days of no communication have gone by for someone in this bucket, you will get a prompt to reach out to them. And you'll get that prompt on your dashboard. So it's making sure that you are continuously adding value. You are continuously reaching out to your contacts, right? And you want to reach out at the right time. You don't want to email blast everyone on one day and then email blast them the next week and then don't talk to them for 6 months, right? You want to make sure it's at regular intervals. And you also want to make sure those intervals are far enough apart that the person has maybe forgotten about you, and then that notification pops up, you call them, and then you're top of mind again. So you want to make sure that you are consistently top of mind and not like spiking top of mind and then plummeting back down and then like, kind of going on deadlining, I guess is what they call it. So you want to make sure that it's the regular intervals that you're reaching out. Contactually will help you do that. Not only will we help you reach out to people you've lost touch with, we'll show you your calendar events for the day on your dashboard. We'll show you specific tasks that you need to do, like send someone a birthday card or send, congrats on 6 months in your home card or gift. And it'll also allow you to activate what we call drip campaigns or active campaigns. So for those, you send certain emails on certain days. Maybe it's leads you want to engage, so you just come to your dashboard and see all of the specific things you need to do in order to stay in touch with your network. So having an organized database that you continuously use is the key to keeping top of mind with important contacts. Staying top of mind will bring you more referrals. This is a no-brainer. I mean, just in life, right? Like if you are top of mind when someone is asked a question about real estate, you want to make sure that that person in your network that you know that already thinks you're a good realtor, just off the top of their head, your name pops up. Because the difference between a realtor getting a ton of business and not getting a ton of business is not skill set. You guys are fantastic realtors. You've been in the business for a long time. It's not they have fancier XYZ. It's because they have a better relationship. And relationships are like plants. They can grow and they can die. So you want to make sure that you're consistently watering or nurturing your relationships so that you get these referrals. And lastly, if you don't use a CRM, you are leaving money on the table. You can't get more brass tacks than that, right? So using a software to help you stay in touch is going to be the key to your success. End of story. Well, maybe not end of story because there's a lot of other factors that go along with the successful business, but one critical factor, one foundation leg is going to be your CRM. And so Contactually is here to help you with that. So the first thing that you need to do when you're working with Contactually is to get your contacts into the database. Most of you have already done this, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. But one of the ways is to import a spreadsheet. Now, what's cool about importing a spreadsheet is that you can do it in the beginning when you're starting with Contactually. You can do it in the middle, a month after that, a month after that. Anytime you're in Contactually, you can import spreadsheets. In fact, I probably once a week will import a spreadsheet of contacts. And the reason for that is I can add in like new notes or who attended a webinar, and instead of me going individually to each profile page, I can create a spreadsheet, pull the names, pull the email addresses, put in the note or the bucket or the tag that I want associated with it, and a few clicks of the button, all that's immediately updated. So importing a spreadsheet is really helpful when you're using Contactually, whether it's in the beginning or whether it's kind of in the midst of your entire usage. Now, some things just to quickly note, I always like to emphasize this, your data has to be clean. So like, for example, if you misspell a word or something in the spreadsheet and then you import it, well, Contactually is going to import it as is. It's not going to auto-correct anything. It's not going to know that someone's name is, instead of Edward, it's Eddie. So you got to take the time to make sure that your what's in your spreadsheet is accurate. Once you've got that up to date, then you'll need to make sure you just save it as a CSV file, so a comma separated variable. It's the most common standardization of spreadsheets, so you'll see it in any software you're using. You also need to make sure you include an email or first and last name. Those are important things. And then here are the things that you can import. So you can do first name, email address, phone number, address, notes. If you're getting really advanced, you can even import stuff like zip code, neighborhood, significant other name, etc. And if you want to know how to do that, it's very simple. Create a column in the spreadsheet, label it neighborhood, fill out the fields, and then upload it into a custom field. So that was importing spreadsheets. So assuming you guys have your contacts in the database, let's talk about how to organize your contacts. And I'll actually walk through all this in real time with my Contactually account. But let's just quickly review. So organizing contacts. Everyone's in the system. How do you organize them? The first thing you need to do is you have to create your buckets, okay? If you don't have buckets created, there's no way for you to organize someone, right? There's nowhere for them to go. So creating buckets is important when you're using a system. Now, you can create your own buckets, organize things how you want. You can use the ones that are already in your account if you like those. But you can edit and delete everything to your liking. This is your account. These are your contacts. This is your business. I want the account to reflect how you operate, okay? Feel free to take what's there, but create your own. And so creating a bucket is fairly simple. You click to the Buckets tab at the top of your account, and then you go to Add Buckets. And then from there, you just simply put on the name of your bucket. You can fill out a goal. So we're creating a new bucket here. We've got the name of the bucket, we have the goal, and then we have the reminder time frame. So again, you don't necessarily need to put a time frame on the bucket. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. I would say for past clients, definitely put a reminder time frame on. All right. So once you get contacts into the buckets, you'll start to notice a lot of your buckets are having kind of color coordination involved. You will see that some are green, some are yellow, some are red. What do these mean? This indicates the health of the bucket. So for all the contacts that are in my new lead buyer bucket up here, and I have a reminder time frame of 3 days, anyone who's in the green, which is this portion of my little donut here, that's going to mean I've spoken to that amount of contacts within 3 days. So let's say there's 10 contacts in this bucket. I've spoken with 3 of them within 3 days, maybe 4 of them past 3 days, so they're yellow, and then red is I haven't talked to those people in a very, very, very long time. So I'm going to actually hop into my account now to show you what that looks like as a refresher. So we talked about organizing contacts here, okay? So at the bucket tab at the top of your account, you see all the different buckets. So some have colors, some don't, right? Why is that? No color means no follow-up time frame. Something has a color that indicates there is some type of timer on it. So let me click into a bucket here. So this is my hot prospects. These are people that I want to consistently follow up with because I'm pretty sure they're going to close within the next 2 months. So hot prospects, here they are. So I can see the names of the people listed. I can see their email addresses. Now let me scroll down. So again, you got the color coordination here. Green is good. Green means you've spoken to them within the time frame you've wanted. In this case, 30 days. Up here is my reminder. So everyone in the green I've talked to within the past 30 days. The yellow, on the other hand, that means it's been a little more than 30 days since I've spoken to the person. And red means, oh my gosh, you have not talked to this person in way more than 30 days. So as an example, this gentleman, Kyle, the last time we talked was in June, right? That is definitely, as much as I would like to still feel like it's June with the weather in DC, it is definitely not. It is definitely the winter. And so more than 30 days has definitely gone by since I've spoken to him. So that's going to give me just like a visual representation of how I'm doing with my clients. So what I want to kind of open up to the group now is if you have any questions about the buckets, I'd love for you to type them in now, or if you have any questions about contacts, type them in now, because it is important that you understand kind of how the buckets work, as they are the categories that you'll be reaching out to. So go ahead and type in your questions for that, and then I'll get back to that in a moment. So once you have people in your bucket, what happens next? So you connected your email, contacts from the system, you've divvied them up into the appropriate bucket. Okay, what else? How else is the system helpful? Well, Contactually will prompt you to reach out to the people in the red and in the yellow. So we do that by showcasing it on your dashboard. So if I click to my dashboard, I'm going to see all of the individuals that I need to reach out to because I haven't in the time frame of their bucket. So for example, there's that first person. It says Kyle. Remember, it says I last talked to him June 15th. I can click this white box to see more information about him. So I can see, all right, so this is someone I haven't talked to in a long time. I know I need to follow up with. Contactually is telling me I need to follow up with him. That's why his name is here. And I'm like, well, I don't really remember what we talked about, what's relevant. I here am able to see all of the different emails that we exchanged way back when. And it looks like I deleted that email. But if you delete an email from the system, your email address, you're not going to be able to preview it here, as you see there. But basically, I could understand we talked about traveling in the fall. So maybe following up with him, I would want to say, hey, fall has passed. Any interest in traveling in another time? So I can use this as context here to reach out and see what else is going on in his life. Now, if I click this here for James, I can click any of these emails similar. I can update myself on what exactly is relevant to him. I can see our emails. And okay, now I have a better understanding of who this person is, what's important to them, and then use that when following up. So basically, each day, after you've set up your Contactually account, you'll come into Contactually each day and see all of the things that are due. Now, I have a lot of stuff on my account because I haven't been in the system in a while, but you should ideally clear out your dashboard each day because you want to make sure that you're reaching out to the right people at the right time. That's the key here, right? Like I mentioned, you don't want to be messaging people week 1, week 2, week 100. You want to be messaging them every month, every quarter, whatever it is. You want to make sure you keep up with that cadence. Now, this is overwhelming to look at, right? Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these follow-up reminders and my contacts. I'm just feeling like, you know, maybe I just got back from vacation, for example, or maybe you took some time off and you came back to Contactually. When you log in, you're like, whoa, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This isn't something that I feel like I have time to deal with right now. This feeling, these thoughts, this happens very frequently, especially if you stopped using Contactually for a while and come back. So I'm going to walk through some tips and tricks that you can do in order to kind of get your footing back in the system. So the first thing that I always recommend people do if they're feeling very overwhelmed is to turn off follow-up reminders until they're ready to get back into the system. Or if you wanted to be proactive and you know you're going on vacation for 2 weeks and you don't want to come back to a huge inundated dashboard, you can proactively turn off the follow-up reminders or pause them if you will, and then once you get back, you can pick them up again. So to do that, in the top right corner here, I'll click my picture or maybe it's your initials. If you click this and you click on settings, this page will default to your follow-up schedule. So I have told Contactually, I want Contactually to remind me to follow up with important contacts. Now, if I'm going on vacation or I'm and I currently can't handle having more follow-ups piled onto my dashboard, I can always uncheck this, okay, and hit save. So what that means is starting tomorrow, the system will not generate any bucket follow-up reminders for me. Now, if I want to change my mind, I'm back from vacation, I'm well rested, and I can't wait to get back into Contactually, I can come in here and I can just check it and hit save, and those settings will automatically be updated. So this is a great way if you're feeling overwhelmed, come in here, let's just pause the follow-up reminders until you feel comfortable and get a hang on it. And then once you're comfortable and you're like, all right, I got this, what else is there? Then we can come back in and turn these on again. Or also for the holiday season, if you know you're going to be out of town or perhaps you're going out of the country where you don't even have access to a computer, I'd recommend turning this off just so you don't come back into the system and feel like you're drowning. So once we've kind of taken care of that, now we've got to deal with everything here on the dashboard, okay? So if you are feeling overwhelmed, I definitely recommend taking the time to just go through what's on the dashboard. If, for example, like I have 13 actions I have to go through. If you have like a ton, like 50, and you're just like, holy smokes, I don't want to deal with this, I just want to start clean, definitely email me or talk to James and he can email me and we can do some cleanup on the back end and just wipe your dashboard. But if you have anything like less than 50 or 40, I'd recommend going through and actually figuring out who these people are and if you need to reach out to them. So I'll scroll through here and maybe I do need to follow up with this particular person, I've realized, but now it's not a good time. I'm really busy. The holidays are coming up. I would love to reach out to him, but after the holidays. Well, what I can do is I can snooze this reminder. So I'm going to do that in this case. I'm going to snooze for 90 days, and he's removed. You can say, okay, then I have this next follow-up reminder. So maybe this particular person, I'm like, okay, so we had a bunch of Jane to follow up with them. Again, you can figure out this snooze time. So again, if you're overwhelmed, first thing to do, turn off your follow-up reminders. Second thing to do is just clear out your dashboard, because what you want to do, you want to get to a point where you're feeling refreshed, you're feeling comfortable, and you know that when you come into Contactually, you're going to have a small and specific amount of tasks that you need to take. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing if you're overwhelmed. Now let me walk you through a profile page of someone. So this, what we are looking at, is a profile page. What this means is it is a profile that's created by Contactually each time you email someone and each time you import someone. So none of this I have manually uploaded. All of this has been auto uploaded from the emails I've sent or from a spreadsheet I've imported. At the top here, you're going to see basic information. So you're going to see name, picture, email address, physical address, website, that kind of stuff. You can always edit it as well. So come in here and edit the information. If I wanted to add in like a phone number or an address, I could do so. And as I scroll down, I now see, this is probably catching everyone's eye, this is our email history. So because Contactually is connected directly to your email, which all of you should have connected, it will automatically pull every email that you exchange with this contact. So A, you have a historical database of all of your emails, and B, you can the latest. Again, you can click on the title of it, read it, refresh your memory, got it, cool, great. Now, I skipped over this portion, this note and interaction. This section allows you to write down any notes about the contact. So if I know that, James went on a road trip and he had a good time, really liked the places he saw, I could write that down as a note, and then maybe if I'm following up with him for like just a regular interval or for his birthday or something, I can reference that. Or for you guys, if you're working with a client and you have that first conversation, you need to know budget, you need to know time frame, you need to know bedrooms, you need to know a variety of other characteristics, and you want to make sure that you log that with the contact. So even if the individual isn't ready to buy or sell their home quite yet, that's okay. At least you have that information available to you. So in 6 months or a year, you can say, hey, I know last time we talked, this was the timeline. Are you still on that? Or this was your budget? Is that still available? Etc. So that's what this note functionality is. Now we have interaction. So that's this other tab here. This will allow you to log other type of communication, whether it's phone call, whether it's a text message, a meeting, any other type of contact that you have with someone that's outside of email, you can log here, like a mailer or a holiday card or something like that. You can log it here, and then the system is going to reset that time frame to interact with that person. So each time you email someone, or each time you have an interaction, the bucket countdown, which is hot prospects, is 30 days, will reset. So because James and I just emailed today, my counter has reset to 30. Tomorrow, if we don't talk, it'll be 29. The next day, if we don't talk, it'll be 28. The next day we do talk, it jumps back up to 30. And so that's how the system will ensure that you're reaching out to the right people at the right time. It's not a static thing. It's always changing based on the last communication date. So I'm hearing from some people that my voice is going in and out on the webinar. If that's happening to you, will you just let me know in the question portion? Because that'll let me know if it's on my end or your end. But if you can hear me, fantastic, awesome, great. If you're struggling to hear me or you only hear portions of what I'm saying, let me know that. Okay, so yeah, let me know that by typing it into the question portion. In the meantime, I will continue. So on the contact record, on the right-hand side of the screen here, here is where the buckets are located. So a contact can be in as many buckets as you want. Clearly, I have James in two buckets. So again, the bucket is just the category that the person belongs to. You can edit it as you want. You click Edit Buckets, add them to another one, remove them from one, hit Save, and that's updated. Okay? I continue to scroll down, and here I have Documents. So Documents is where I can choose to attach any type of file that's needed against this person. So perhaps it's a contract, maybe it's something with the house, they need to know like a copy of the deed or something like that, or maybe it's a one-page, like a marketing material if you're working with a seller. You can do that. But anyways, if you need to attach any type of document, here's where you can do that. Below that is task. So a task is a specific to-do you have in regards to the contact. So for example, you call someone wishing them a happy holidays and they mention that they're planning to redo their kitchen. Okay, well, what you want to do is follow up with them and say, maybe the next week and say, hey, I know on the phone you mentioned you're redoing your kitchen. If you need any contractors or designers, let me know. I have a ton. And then maybe in 6 weeks, you put another task and say, hey, how did the remodel go? What was your experience like? I'd love to see pictures when you're done. So the tasks allow you to have a specific event, remind you to do something at a specific time. Now we also in Contactually have recurring events. So maybe you want to send a birthday card or a home anniversary or a closing date anniversary. Whatever it is that happens on an annual basis, you can choose the date. And then what's going to happen each year is you will get a reminder on this date to perform this action. So a lot of people are like, well, if I want to send a birthday card, is there any way that you can notify me like a week early? Because I want to give myself some time to actually send them a card that will arrive on their birthday. There is not a way to do that in the system. What I would recommend is you simply just have the notification come a week early. So say send birthday card, birthday is next week. Or like birthday is January 10th or something. So you can then, that's the way to do it. It's just whatever date you've chosen here on the calendar, that is the day that you're going to get the notification on your dashboard to complete it. So just make sure it lines up with what you need to do. Okay. All right, so this is the contact profile page. So back to the sound issues, some people are, like 1 or 2 people are having some issues, but it looks like everyone else seems to be doing okay. So for those of you, I have your names listed who said you were having some issues with the sound. If you continue to have issues and you can't quite understand what I'm saying, hopefully you can understand this, but we'll do an offline thing where maybe it's like a one-on-one to kind of review what we went through if you missed it. So don't worry, I got you guys if you're having trouble hearing me. All right, so this is a contact record. So cool, each time you email someone, it creates this record. And then what can you do with this? Well, the one thing we always encourage in Contactually is to follow up. And the follow-up functionality is simply the ability for you to send an email from Contactually through your normal email server. And so this, what I just clicked on, is called the follow-up module. So here's how you do that. Here's how you email someone from Contactually. So the first thing you can choose is the email address you want to send from. You can connect as many email accounts to your one Contactually account as you want, and then you can choose which one you want to send from. Additionally, if you have multiple emails for the contact, you can choose which one you want to send to. Oftentimes people will have a work email and a business or like a personal email. You know, you choose which email you think would be more appropriate to send to them. And then you have the body of the message. Now, if you're like, well, I'm not really sure what to say to the person, there's a few things you can do to kind of spark your creativity. The first thing you can do is look on the right-hand side of the screen here, and you'll notice reference information. So you're going to see the name, you're going to see the picture, you'll see the company they work for, you'll see your recent conversations. Again, you can click on the subject line, and it will give you a preview of the message, so you can update or jog your memory. You can also notice that we have the notes listed. So I see that note there, so I could maybe use that when I want to reach out to email him. So whatever I want, I can do so. And then I can just type my email, say, hey James, you know, how are you today? How's your Thanksgiving? Yada yada. But maybe I'm like, oh, I just don't have the brain power right now to like think of something to say to him. So you can drop in an email template. And so under the subject line here, we've got this blue link. It says email template. And if I click that, here is where I can see populated messages already crafted for me, okay? So maybe it's like a general check-in. That's all I want to do here. I click that. It auto-populates the message, and then I can just hit send. So I actually didn't even type anything because, you know, my brain's tired and maybe it's towards the end of the week. I'm not creative. Don't worry. The system can be creative for you. So you can drop in an email template, which is personalized, right? it's included his specific first name. It can also include a variety of other specific things as well. And I can even, once the team email template has been loaded, I can add in my own personal detail. So maybe, you know, I don't want to type the whole thing, but I'm happy to type in one sentence of detail. So maybe I'll take off this. He was on vacation, driving cross country with a friend. I could say, I'd love to hear about how your cross country vacation was. Boom. And then I'll just sign it, say, have a good day, Susan. And then I hit send. Now, before I hit send, I want to walk through some of the other cool features here. The first is at the bottom of the screen here, we have tracking features. So what are tracking features? Tracking features will allow me to see if he's opened the message, if he's clicked on a link I've included. I haven't clicked on, or I don't have a link in this one, so I'm not going to activate it. And I can also get a reminder to see if he has not responded. So one of the examples I always give with my my other clients that I work with is, I don't know if you guys do pop buys at all, like holiday pop buys, but oftentimes when the agents need to stop by, I tell them, well, A, you have to email your client first, letting them know that you're going to stop by, and then track the response. So if the client or whoever it is you're dropping the gift off to, if they don't respond, you're going to get a notification on your dashboard, and then you know to either email them again or call them just so they know you'll be stopping by at a particular time. So that's what this does. This will, in whichever time frame you choose, it will say, hey, so-and-so has not responded to your email. What do you want to do about it, basically? So for this one, I think it's okay. I don't need to check that. There's nothing really important date-wise on here. I also, in this portion of the follow-up, have the option to schedule the follow-up at a future date and time. So if I'm going on vacation and I want to make sure that some emails go out while I'm on vacation, I can set this up. Or maybe I'm burning the midnight oil. You know, speaking of the Popeye thing, you know, maybe I'm planning my route and it takes me a lot longer than I thought, and finally I know exactly who I'm going to drive to their house on what date, and it's 11 p.m. at night, and I want to email them just because I'm in the zone, but don't necessarily want them to see an email from me at 11 p.m. or midnight. You can choose a future date and time for the email to go out. So that's an option here that but I'm not worried about that. This is one email to one person. I like it, it looks good, I hit send, and then off that email goes, and I have followed up with James. So the goal of Contactually is each day you come to your dashboard, you see everything listed here, and then you click the follow-up button, send them an email, and then once you've sent that email, the follow-up reminder will be removed from your dashboard. So let's run through a quick one. So I click follow up. All right, I see we have the email here. I'm just going to drop in something, general check-in, Susan. Now I hit send, and you'll notice it's saying, hey, great work, we're sending this, keep going. And so that has removed the follow-up reminder from my dashboard. So that's the goal. Come in here each day, figure out who you need to talk to, whether you call them and log it manually, text them, log it manually, or you email them, whatever works for you. If you write them a letter, that's fine. Just let the system know that. Log it here so that you have a complete up-to-date record of when you've reached out to someone. Now, another quick thing I want to walk through is how you can download templates that Realty Concepts has specifically created for you. So let me take you into the email template. So if we go into the top right corner and click to settings, on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a ton of stuff going on, but I want you to focus towards the middle and click on Email Templates. So this is my email template library. That general checking in template you saw me use a few times, that's where this lives. I can come in here to edit the templates. I can create new ones to use in the future, or I can even download ones that Realty Concepts, the marketing gurus have created for you. So to add a new template to your account, you need to go up into the top right corner, and there is a lovely red button that clearly says Add Email Template. Now, if you hover over that, you will see two options. One says New Email Template, which is like a template that you can create on your own. The other says Add from Library, and that's what I'm going to click. So I click Add from Library, and this brings me to what I like to call the public library. So here is where you can download a lot of templates that are to your liking. And specifically, you can download the Realty Concepts one. So in the bottom left corner, you see this Realty Concepts title here. You click all, and here are all of the templates that Realty Concepts has put together for you. They have conveniently made a food drive newsletter or flyer that you can send to your closest clients. So let's say you like this and you're like, awesome, I want to use it in my account. How do I get it in my own account? Well, all you have to do is check the box to the left of the template, and that will select it, and then you click Add. And once you click Add, it will be loaded immediately into your template library for you to use. Okay, so I'm going to click on it just to make sure it looks okay. I scroll down, and here is what the newsletter looks like. So you guys, looks like you guys are doing a food drive. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so this looks awesome. So I want to send this to my past clients, my sphere of influence. You know, I don't want to send this to everyone because I really want this to be personalized. I want them to know that, hey, you know, Susan, hey, James, I want you to know that I'm thinking of you, and hey, can you help out in a way? So, all right, so I've got my template, and now I want to message, let's say, my hot prospects to let them know that we're doing this food drive and we'd love for them to participate. So I want to message multiple people at once. And so I use that with the scale mail functionality. So I can, of course, message the template one-on-one to people if I want, but I know that there's at least 10 people that I want to have this, so I'm going to use the system to help me accomplish that. So I clicked my Contacts tab at the top because I want to send this message to a bunch of people. And on the left-hand side here, I have different filters, and I'm going to filter down by my hot prospects. You know what? Let's do hot and warm. Why not? Let's get them all. So this is showing me 11 contacts, which is a perfect amount. So I want to message all of these people that newsletter that we just downloaded. So I'm going to select all of them by clicking this. And now at the bottom of the screen, I see a red button that says Scale Mail, and I'm going to click it. Scale Mail is the feature where I can message multiple people at one time. I can message them the same message, but it's personalized to each individual. So let me show you what that looks like. The first thing I have to do is load my email template. All right, it populated. It looks good. Okay, nothing looks too wonky. Maybe I'll say, you know, have a great holiday season. Holiday season, Susan. And maybe say like, hey, we'd really like you to be a part of this. Here's my phone number if you're interested and you want to set up a pickup or something like that. But anyways, I hit next. And here is where I can review each individual message before it goes out. So I can see all of the contacts that I want to send this to, and I can see that the system is updating their first name. It's personalizing it, right? Okay. Now, Brandon, I have a bunch of emails for, so I want to choose which email is contactual one. I'll choose that. But I'll go through and just make sure that everything looks normal. You know, maybe with this one, I want to add in a specific note here. Hope you're doing well. Say, would love for you to participate if you're available. Participate, etc. The point here is that you can add in detail to the email preview. It's not going to affect the other email, right? So here it says just, hey, Carrie, and then here it says, hey, Andrew, hope you're doing well, Once I'm happy with it, once again, I can track the features if I wanted to, or on the right-hand side, I could choose a future date and time this goes out, or I could send it right now. But essentially what will happen is Contactually will send these 11 contacts each their own personal email, and a copy is in my sent folder. So when they reply, which hopefully they all do, when they reply, it'll be right back in my inbox. So they're not going to know that I sent it from Contactually or that other people got the same exact email. It's going to go just to them from me, but it makes my life easier because I'm not copying and pasting this email over and over again. So I strongly recommend you guys utilize this for any of your holiday stuff, because if you do the pop-bys that I just talked about earlier, you can scale mail everyone and say, hey, I'm coming around on Sunday at 2 p.m. Let me know if you're going to be home. And then you can kind of easily send out a message to everyone just to kind of notate them that people will be coming to their house unexpectedly. Great question coming in. Talking about the sent folder. So when you send from Contactually, everything is documented in your Gmail. So when I say this version will be available, like once you send it, you'll be able to see a copy in your sent folder in Gmail. Now, of course, you can also check Contactually to see if it went through. So let me show you what that looks like. So let's say you sent a bunch of emails and you're like, I want to see who opened them. I want to see who read my emails. You can do that by going to the dashboard and clicking View Messages. And here is where you can see each of the emails that you sent from Contactually. So it looks like I sent a bunch, like in a scale mail, I sent a bunch of like Halloween safety tips. Looks like 4 people opened them. One person didn't, and other people didn't. Okay, great. So basically, here's where you can come to just see like a big picture, like of all of the emails that I sent, how many opened them. Because then if you see someone opened it but didn't respond, you could say, hey, just wanted to make sure you got my email. Or maybe you saw that someone didn't open it, right? And you want to be like, hey, do I have the right email address for you? I sent you an email, but I didn't hear back, so I wanted to just make sure that I'm updating my record properly. So anyways, that's how you can see if you've emailed people en masse and if they've opened it. So I want to hop back into the presentation now and just kind of quickly review everything. So we talked about buckets with the time frames, how to filter your contacts. So for scale mail purposes, for like mailers purposes, whatever it is you need, if you need to narrow down your contacts in some fashion, do so from the Contacts tab using those filters on the left. Sending an email, you can click the blue follow-up button. It will give you the follow-up module. And here you can write your email or load in a template, activate some tracking features, and then hit send. You can also follow up from the dashboard, and you'll see those dashboard reminders there. Same situation, click the blue follow-up button, and that's going to bring you to the follow-up module, and you can send that person an email. Talked about email templates, how to get there. It's through the settings. So you go into the top right corner of your account, you click on your picture or initials, you click on email templates, that brings you to the library. So your library, like your own copies. And then if you wanted to download or get some new templates, you go into the public library. And that's accessible up here. The add new email template, add to library, go to Realty Concepts. Once you see it and you download it into your account, it's there for you to use. You can click on it to edit it if you want it in any fashion. So you can click on it and edit the information, tweak it, add in your own little quick personalized note. And then once you've saved it, you can then use the template when following up. So here's a follow-up module, and you'll notice the email template link. I've clicked it, and I've selected the newsletter. And then I've added in my own little tidbit of information. So it just is like, hey, I know you love the holiday season. Here you go. So we add in some details to make it personalized. Honestly, one sentence of detail can go a long way, seriously. And always make sure to see if the person's opened it, just so you can get an idea of whether or not certain emails are successful, right? If you find that one of your emails gets opened way more frequently than another one, well, maybe it's time to retire the other one and just focus on the one that works really well. Or maybe it has something to do with the subject line. There's a lot of data that you can use to analyze how to improve your business. If you want to check to see if someone's opened the email, you can go to their individual profile record. A blue symbol indicates they have opened the message, or they've clicked on the link, or if they've, activated the feature in some way. And the gray means you've decided to track it, but the user has not yet, or the recipient has not yet performed it. And then no symbol means you never even tracked it to begin with. Now, kind of closing up the webinar here. If you have any questions, there is a question icon in the top right corner of your account, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You can go there and type in anything that you have questions about, and you'll be taken directly to the articles with the answers. You can also check out the support site, support.contactually.com. We also have the training site. You all have your own personalized Realty Concepts video library that has videos on it. I know a lot of people ask to watch videos versus read a lot of documents. Totally fine. Just click here and you can review any of the previous webinars that we've had. And you can talk to James or myself. Any questions you have, we'll be able to answer. If we can't answer it, we know the people who can. So definitely don't be shy. Let us know. And what's next with Contactually? So we're at a point where you guys need to figure out if you want to use Contactually or not. Realty Concepts is providing you guys Contactually for free. Like, absolutely free. You just have to say, yes, I want it. Normally, people have to pay close to $600 a year to have Contactually, and you're getting it for free. So think about whether this is something that you want to use. I would strongly recommend everyone sign up at least for like the first few months to see if it's going to be something that you're going to use in your business and help you improve, because it can only help you. Contactually can only help you grow your business. So, and of course, the training doesn't stop here. We will be having ongoing webinars about Contactually, how you can use it, new cool things happening with Realty Concepts. So a lot of exciting stuff kind of coming down the pike. And I'm going to open up the floor now to questions, but did want to just walk you guys through that little question icon I was talking about. So in the top right corner of my account here, question mark icon, if I click that, here's where I can type in whatever it is my heart desires to learn more about, and I'll be taken directly to articles that are around that topic. All right. So let me see if I have any questions here. So someone's asking for me to review how to find the Realty Concepts template. So I'm happy to do that one more time for you guys. So the first thing that you need to do is you have to go to the feature of interest. And that, in this case, is the email templates. And these are tricky to find. I totally understand. So if you're like getting confused, totally hear you. But we'll review it again so you can kind of get into this muscle habit of or habit of where to go. So if you click in the top right corner, you want to click to your settings, okay? When you are in your settings, on the left-hand side of the screen, we have email templates. That's the feature, okay? So this is like your email template library. So think of this like this is your library at home, okay? You've got these books or messages. You can write in the books. You can tear pages out. You can throw them away if you don't want them anymore. Whatever is listed here in the settings under email templates, you have complete control over. Now, if you ever wanted to borrow, not even borrow, but if you ever wanted to, for free, grab another book or another message from what we call like our public library, you can do so by going into the top right corner where it says Add Email Template and choosing Add from Library. When you're in the library, you can download any and all of these templates if you want. They're separated out on the left-hand side by vertical. But more importantly, you guys are probably interested in this one here at the bottom. It's called Realty Concepts. And if you click that, click the all, it will show you all of the Realty Concepts specific templates that you can download into your account. So choose the one you like, check it off, click the add button. Once you click add, it's then kind of in your own library, in your own bookcase, and then you can edit it if you want. You can send it out. You can delete it. Totally up to you. Let me know if that wasn't clear or you need me to walk through it again. I'm certainly happy to do that. Another great question. Someone's asking, can all the information in Contactually be stored elsewhere, like in the cloud or Outlook? So Contactually is a cloud-based CRM, which means you can log in from any computer on any browser as long as it has internet access. So if you have a computer at home, you have a computer at the office, you have a computer when you're on vacation in Puerto Rico, you can always access all of your information. And one of the things I recommend is once you have your database organized how you like, I strongly recommend exporting a copy. It's just having a physical or like a hard copy of your database allows a lot of people to sleep a little easier at night. So I just recommend for peace of mind if people, if you decide to leave Contactually or perhaps, try a different venture, not with Realty Concepts, at least you have your database organized in a fashion that has removed duplicates, it has removed extraneous information, and it's combined all the information about one contact into one clean record. So strongly, strongly, strongly recommend exporting contacts once you have them organized how you want. Yeah, so if your computer crashes or you drop your computer in water or something, or you've sworn off your computer PCs, you can always access it anywhere you have internet access. So it's not specific to a computer at all, which is really nice. Especially, well, for me, I'm on the go. We move around a lot here. I'm presenting elsewhere. And as long as I have internet access, I can get everything it is I need. I don't have to worry about one computer having all of my files on it. That's certainly not how we operate here. So yeah, it's totally available wherever you are, but it's still safe and very secure. All right, so we are here at 11 a.m. Pacific. I want to be mindful of everyone's time, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off the webinar. If you have remaining questions you didn't get a chance to ask, or you think of it in 5 minutes, feel free to just talk to James and he'll be able to help you guys out. And like I said, we are going to do ongoing webinars, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll probably do one after the holidays just so you guys can enjoy the holidays, or maybe prepare for the holidays, whatever kind of suits you. But definitely starting in January, we'll probably do something along the lines of cleaning up your database, setting the schedule for 2016, figuring out what you guys want to accomplish, and going from there. So more to come from Contactually, but any questions, concerns, go to James or myself. And everyone, if we don't have a webinar before the holidays, have a great holiday, have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and we will be in touch. Bye, everyone.